Hello and welcome to today's After Church Tea Time. We are speaking about Adam and Brianne's sermon, How You Create Your Reality in Your Mind. Today with Carmen, Deborah, and me, Paco. And happy that you all here and participate our discussion about the sermon. And if you would like to add something, please share in the comments. And if you have a question, please share in the comments. We will also look there and integrate this in our conversation. Yeah, what should I say? This sermon was grounding, helpful, mind-opening. They were talking about consciousness, how our consciousness, our mind is built up. There are 3 areas. They were talking about a book, I don't remember. But yeah, I liked it. It helped me to see where I still kind of unconscious and create things in my life I don't like, where I can go deeper in applying the teaching of unionism in my life and let go of fear and replace it with love, what I desire. And that was very helpful. And now I would like to open up for Carmen and Deborah that you share your insights and what was very helpful for the both of you.
Yeah, well, for me, like listening to the sermon, it reminded me a lot of like everything I was reading back in the day when I was learning about Buddhism, and I like again like that quote from that they took from one of Jeff and Shaleia's meditation. Your mind is the garden where you grow your reality. I always kind of like resonate with that. I always remember the meme that was created a few years ago, and yeah, like that sort. Like along my journey, that became very much true, and it's like I can see it every day now. I have like a few examples come up, and of course I'm going to share that as we move forward in this discussion. But I really like today's sermon. It was, like you said, very grounding and it felt very peaceful. And yeah, it was very interesting to see how they opened the door for us to kind of like remind ourselves that we can create our own reality. So yeah.
Yeah, I love the sermon also very much. I also feel very grounded and peaceful and also very expanded on this topic. Again, got deeper insights on what it means to create in your reality and how powerful thoughts are. And each and every thought is actually very powerful because we are powerful and we can choose to set our focus. And wherever we focus on, this is where we will get more of from. And now we see again how powerful it is to always choose God and to align with that and to get clear also on what we really want in the reality, in the physical reality. So I like that, I'm doing this also in the coachings lately, getting homework, so to say, for the week on how to ground my healing as well. So for example, then there is something coming up for me, watch a movie on this topic, and this helps me ground the healing. And this also helps to ground this sermon in the reality and to see where you would like to expand and what do you desire and what do you like to create. And yeah, I really, really love that. And there were also so many insights I got from it, and looking forward to share.
Yeah, I was like listening to them speak about this topic, and one of the books that came a lot to my mind, even though I haven't finished reading it, was like this book from Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil, that Jeff and Shaleiah have recommended a while ago. And it's not like I found a specific quote, but I kind of like went through the pages I already read, and I love it because in the sermon they also say like your faith is your fortune. And in the book there's kind of like a little sort of like, I don't know, sub chapter, so to speak. I don't know exactly how to call that in English. And it says, faith is the beginning of all great achievement. And at the end of this section, it says, whatever man believes to be true has a way of becoming true. And this is also like what Adam and Brianne were sharing about. What you feed your mind is actually what becomes a reality. And I love that they quoted this audiobook they were listening to, and they were explaining these 3 departments and a little bit how all of them function and what they are all about. Because I don't think it was very long ago that even science, I'm kind of like that, the science freak in this department, kind of like started proving that that's actually true. Like how you build your reality based on the thought system that you have, like the beliefs that you hold, and that kind of like sets you up on how you go into the world and present yourself. And yeah, of course, if you are believing that people are not going to like you, then you're going to set yourself already in that vibration, if you want to call it in some way, and attract exactly that. The cool thing is that, of course, like when we know with the teachings of union, and when we apply it, and we use the mirror exercise that we always mention, you can actually kind of like go into that place, see where this belief is stemming from, and bring love there, kind of like repair maybe an old wound that you have. And that's kind of like one of the aspects that I love the most about the teaching. And
I have an example to what you shared.
Oh yeah, I was going to give like my own example too, but go ahead, please.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, because you were talking about you feed yourself with, and also how Adam and Brian were talking. Last week I was guided to watch documentaries on Netflix, and kind of they have mostly awful topics. It's awful about murders and another murders and being in jail and the worst jails and a lot of this. When you look at Netflix, you really could think that, oh my God, where I am living at. But nevertheless, I stayed there and I said to God, you would like me to watch there something. So I found series The Tinder Swindler, and I watched it, and I was, what is that Tinder? And yeah, they were sharing that this one guy was lying to women that he gets a lot of money from them, and he did it in big. He does it big, kind of a lot of, like, he got millions from women in lying to them. And I said to God, that's so sad, and that's so sad that people kind of
just
find that cool, and that it felt not good for me. And then I was kind of in this energy, and next day I kind of was still there, and I was kind of saying to God always, why the people are so mad, and why they think that cool, that's not how I would like to live around. And then I just didn't set a boundary with this energy. God just wanted to make me too aware of it, but I didn't set boundaries with this energy. Then next day I drove to work, and this was awful. And I don't know what I attracted, but the people on the street was like crazy. They did stuff, they did things on the street. I thought like, oh my God, how can someone do that? Kind of threatening everyone, and it's careful. It's dangerous. Yeah, careless drivers, exactly. And I realized, okay, I have to set here really a boundary. I have to find the place inside of me who kind of resonates with this drama, and to heal here. To, like Deborah said, where I have this wound, and to not like Adam and Brianna shared, this subconscious mind is kind of doing without any destination.
Kind of any control over anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I had to discipline myself there in a very loving, compassionate way, that even I know that something like that can exist, I do not need to give power to that at all. Even I can set boundaries here with this energy, and I can create my reality how I desire to be: loving, friendly, honest.
Well, you kind of touch upon what I wanted to share, but I'm gonna give Carmel the chance to share her piece too.
Oh no, I would love to hear about your story as well.
No, it was like what the sermon was bringing up in the topic itself also. And I see this like almost every day. There was a point in my life where I was like looking around, and my experiences, of course, without the teaching, and doing the best, to the best of my abilities, what I could. But I remember like looking around. I grew up in a very big city, so there was a lot of people to look at. And I remember kind of like having this thought about I don't know, I remember maybe 18, maybe younger, I don't quite remember. I was a teenager basically. And kind of like looking around me and seeing like, is this all there is? Like there has to be something else. Like it looks so kind of like dark. And I remember, and I remember hearing in a class too, and I share kind of like the same thought that Jeff had, like if kind of like pain, death, hate, ego is all that there is, then it's kind of like life is not really worth living, and there has to be something out there. And so like Adam and Brian were sharing the sermon with that in focus, like with that in mind, I kind of like put one foot in front of another, and like I actually got to the point of realizing like, no, you can really have the life you want. You can say like you can really leave behind in a very good and peaceful manner, of course, anything that doesn't feel good to you, and create like exactly what you want. I see this as we keep moving forward in our union, and I keep investing whatever God is calling me to invest in creating the family of my dreams. In spite of whatever challenges might be coming up, and kind of like give that to yourself from within. Like I was realizing as we were watching the sermon, like that's kind of like the important piece for me, and that's a little bit what I'm working on right now, kind of like as an ant, piece by piece, taking. But yeah, it's like you apply the teaching and you persist in it, and that faith that they were mentioning, that faith is your fortune, it does become your reality. And I find that that's something very, very cool to be able to manifest anything that you want. So that was kind of like in a nutshell. Not so much.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it's true with the faith part. It was this was a big thing for me as well recently, actually, as I was healing in my life purpose a lot, and I'm still healing a lot in my life purpose. I was looking for a new job, and I finally got one, and it was basically the only open door for me, really. And it's a personal assistant job, and I really thought, oh my God, I didn't succeeded yet to be a full-time actress yet. You know, I was a little upset about that, and I thought, again, I have to do something that I didn't really want to do, and I felt so upset because it is obviously the only door that was open for me right now, and then I had to really let go of everything, let go of anger and judgment about this job, and had to choose to be open to what God is showing me here, and trust my further healing, trust everything that I did before, and know that He won't lead me again into a job where I feel basically like a slave again, and also underpaid and all. And then I had my first day, and it was actually the most beautiful and healing day I had in a job so far, because it was very loving. It's in a family, and I started to really see the purpose of this job, and the purpose of the situation I'm in right now, and that this is where I need to be to also ground the healing I did before, because I didn't really have the opportunity to ground, giving me this foundation, giving myself the safety, and giving myself also, I came from this overworking thing and doing as much as possible, and just working, no break. And here I'm really learning that I'm allowed to take breaks, and they are giving me breaks, and they give me room and space, and they are very loving and kind to me. And it's a lot of fun doing household, which I also never really liked doing for myself. And now I'm finally receiving it. And, there is a lot of purpose in, and I see that it's just another brick and another big breakthrough in my faith in God, knowing that it all has a purpose, and that I'm getting there, and I'm on it. And of course, what they also mentioned in the sermon, not losing the focus on the goal. Also, Jeff and Shaleia mentioned it in a Twin Flame Ascension Schools class. that you want your harmonious union. Yeah, let's say now it's there. Of course, it's right now here, but you follow this red line. I think they said like this string. You just follow it, and you basically always keep on this peace track. And yeah, sometimes you just have to say no to thoughts coming up. Sometimes you maybe even don't really have to heal something deep. That's for me what happened as well. You think, there's a shitty thought coming up. What do I have to heal here? What is it actually? But basically all you have to do is just let that thought go and choose peace instead. And then that's all you have to do. Sometimes it also reminds me that the mind is kind of like a computer. It thinks in 1 and in 0. And yeah, right. And then you can always, whenever you say no to something, you also have to say on the other hand, yes, you just can't leave it to the no, because then you're still focusing on the no. Also like the example Jeff always shares, you want fries with that? Yes or no? And
it has to be a complete choice.
Yes, exactly. Now, knowing when you let go of something, you have to choose something instead. What's the thing that should come instead of this? And yeah, this is how one fills the cup, I feel.
When you have a full cup, when you take care of yourself, then it overflows into your reality. Then you have faith. Even I feel I have to work kind of non-stop to create everything I desire in my life purpose. Then they always repeated this faith. Faith going where it feels good. It feels good to take a break, to go for a walk. Even I know I have a lot of tasks to do, but to follow here the good feeling and letting go of the fearful thoughts, create loving thoughts. It's okay. You're tired. You need to recover a little bit. You need to relax a little bit, that you can keep going and
fulfilling that function. Yeah. Because they also share about like how each piece, and this was also brought up by Alex and Laurentiu in the introduction to the sermon. It's like all the pieces, or it was in the reading. No, it was in the reading, I thought, that Johanna and Steen did. Like all the pieces, everyone's piece kind of like fits together perfectly.
That reminded me of what we did this morning after breakfast and after our coaching. With our coach, we went for a walk, grounding, the healing. And then we went by the church, the Catholic church, because they played music.
Yeah, it was a little like autumn festival thing.
Yeah. Ernte Dank, I think kind of like a Thanksgiving in Austria. Thankful for God that now they get all the fruits from the summer when they had work, the farmers. And we were standing there, and you were kind of feeling this desire in your heart that you would like to go to church. And then I told you, I will not go there because the Catholic Church don't respect me and don't accept me. I'm a transgender, and I will not go there. And then I told you, yeah, I found the church. I found the one church who respects me and finds it good and helps me to embrace my true self as a transgender man. And that's why I love fighting. I do it because this is my home. And I never felt that. I always wanted to do that. I left the Catholic Church, even I liked being there. I wanted to be in service, but there, when I was a child, I was a woman, and they didn't allow me being in service and helping the priester. They never allowed me to be in service to God because I was always wrong in there.
I think it's not that they didn't allow it. It's
they didn't allow it. I asked.
No, but let me finish the idea. Is that they were allowing you only under certain conditions, and that's exactly what that doesn't fly. You weren't loved unconditionally.
Yeah, it was also a reflection, of course, but that was not my home, so I left. And I was always looking for other places and religions where I always can be in service and giving to your church, to your home, to your spiritual home is normal. A lot of people around me are looking for such a place, but they leave the kind of in our area, it's normal to be Catholic, but a lot of people leave this place because they feel like they are not growing with time. And a lot of people are looking for that. And that's why I love being in the Church of Union and being able to be in service and give here and be together with people because we love God. And also I would like to support my spiritual home with donation, because in truth it's the normal thing in life to do. Since centuries, always it was normal to support your spiritual home in giving the tenth of your income.
Yeah, it's that's kind of like how we manifested having this church. Like it was the calling that a lot of us had in our hearts, and it got kind of like answered in some way. And to have anything in your life, you have to invest in it. Time, energy, money, like they are all the same. We call it differently, but you want your perfect, I don't know, you want your harmonious union, you have to invest in healing yourself into it. You want your perfect family, or you have to invest in doing that. And you want your perfect spiritual community, well, you have to invest in that too.
It's the faith, even you don't know why you are guided to do that right now.
Yeah, and kind of like trust. When I was listening to Carmen's story or experience, better said, with this change of jobs and how she felt moving from the previous one to this new one, and the things that she had to heal through. I'm having kind of like the same current experience in my job. It's like I'm working on as a cleaning lady, in spite of everything else that I've done, and knowing like how capable I am, for how much value I can actually give. But at the same time, it's like I trust God that He has something better for me. I just have to move through the process of getting clear, like, what is the purpose of me being here? Where are my lessons? Where is God guiding me to go or to do? What is the purpose of me being here? Because it's always a two-way street. So you receive from the people you work with, and you give to the people you work with, regardless of how that looks like, regardless if you know exactly what that is. And that's also part of like shaping your reality, like when you can see the deeper meaning behind it. And I think ties perfectly with this that Adam and Brianne were sharing in their sermon too. And I just lost it. I wanted to say what it was, and it's just gone. So I'm gonna give Carmel again like room to express herself while my thought train comes back to me.
Is it maybe about this main point that you have to take the step first before God gives you the thing, basically?
No, it was going back to this place of fear, but with love.
Yeah,
because they were mentioning this part of like, well, maybe you are kind of like you have this thought come up that, well, you don't know the extent of your mind, the extent of your consciousness, what might be there, and it's not about like being scared or afraid of it, but rather see like, oh, this is a chance for me to go deeper in claiming more love in this place. Like whenever I made a choice out of fear, I can now go and make a different choice out of love. So that was kind of like the point I wanted to touch upon. Thank you. It's very helpful.
Yeah, great. Now I also had a good point to it. This basically perfectly ties up in with the point that love is the only power, and only love is real, and love never fails. And that even though you might have fear, oh no, what if I manifest this and that? You should always remind yourself that, yeah, love is the only power. And also I read in some book and I found it very interesting, and it gave me so much relief back then. It was in the beginning of my spiritual journey, I guess. And yeah, I know, I think it wasn't The Secret, the book, The Secret, but still I found this one very powerful, because they were telling also, yeah, your thoughts create your reality, and you can basically manifest everything and anything that you want. You just have to focus on it and be grateful for it, and so on and so forth. And then they mentioned also this point, yeah, but what if I'm constantly worried, or I had now that I'm aware, I now see that some years back ago, I was constantly worried about some specific topic. It didn't happen yet to manifest, but still I created so many bad thoughts about this topic. What if I'm about to manifest it now? And then they replied to it that you should not worry, because you have basically, that's now what I'm interpreting in it, but I come to the point later, that basically you can always choose now. And it doesn't matter what have been, it's important what you choose right now. And it doesn't matter what happened yesterday, it doesn't matter what will happen tomorrow. You just choose now what you want when you are aware of that. And also what they then said is that I think they said the power of light. I'm not sure right now. Sorry if I'm confusing it, but basically what they are saying, that God, love, is 10,000 times more powerful than one single bad thought. And I thought that was so incredibly amazing. And I even think that since God is the only power that truly exists, it's more than 10,000 times. It's not able to put it in a number, because God is limitless and infinite. And so, no matter how many bad thoughts you have, only one good thought brings you into heaven, basically. And so I think that gave me, and I feel it gives me a lot of relief to always think of that. It's fine. I forgive myself for thinking these thoughts. It's fine. It's just a thought. It really only matters what I choose now. That's very beautiful.
Yeah, I like that. I had the same, like when I was, again, like going back to the beginning, when I was reading about Buddhism and stuff like that, I also started catching myself having, what if I manifest this? What if I'm creating bad karma? And of course, there was still like a lot of fear. I didn't know how to work through that part. And it's kind of like, I liked it in the sermon too, because as they were sharing about this piece, that brought me back like to Buddha and Jesus. They were also in like their active meditation when they were, well, I will not say this about Jesus because it's a little bit different, the background in a sense. But when Buddha was kind of like working towards his ascension, there was this moment under the famous Bodhi tree where he kind of had to fight against these bad thoughts too, like his own ego. And Jesus kind of like had the same. I always remember this story that before when he found out that he was gonna have to move through crucifixion, he went to the mountain, having his own private talk with God, and it's like moving through his upset, but still choosing and finding love in that place, and kind of like finding and seeing, comprehending better, so like the full scale and the purpose behind him moving through this experience. And it feels a little bit like that. It doesn't have to be of such a magnitude. It could be something smaller for us, like the fear of stepping on stage, the fear of giving a speech, the fear of, I don't know, just sitting on a test at the university or at school and feeling the answers. Like, doesn't matter. It's just going back to that place that doesn't feel good. And bringing that God, that love there. So I find that very, very cool and a very interesting process to see how, like, little by little, piece by piece, you can actually have everything you desire, even as Adam and Brian were sharing, even if it seems impossible. Like, I also thought, like, moving abroad to another country, like, I never thought in my wildest dreams I would be doing it. It was always kind of like that dream. And the more I grew, the louder it got. And at some point I was like, yeah, you know what? So many people before me did it with even far less resources than I did. Or even like single parents with children did it. And why am I not gonna be able to? Like, what makes me so different? Absolutely nothing. And so it was just like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my perfect man.
This is like, yeah.
My perfect life with my perfect man.
Exactly. Like they also said, it's perfect. The super conscious mind.
Yeah, the God mind.
The God mind.
The God conscious.
Like the last question they asked, how would your life feel like with God? Everywhere with God? Yeah, perfect.
Oh, that's it. I love it. Yeah, it's kind of like the same question that I think it's in the Romance Attraction e-course that they were also quoting, like, if you could do anything, what would you like? What would you do? How would your life, like, if you had no fear, what would your life look like? Like, if you didn't believe this about yourself, this misbelief or this false belief about yourself, like, how would your life look like? How would this experience feel like? And I always found it to be a very interesting question that I sometimes kind of like go back to, and yeah, just allowed to be a work in progress. You don't have to have everything figured out just now. Just take it a step at a time.
How do you feel? You come in, please. You would like to share something?
Yes, yeah. In addition to that, I also like this, basically homework and question. No, let's say homework. Live. Oh no, now I'm hooked up on it as well. live as if it already is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I
No,
love
you got
it.
it right. You got it right.
Yes. I think that is also in the Romance Attraction e-course. When you basically want to live together with your twin flame, in order to manifest them, you have to make space for them in your flat. And I remember that I really did this consistently. I had really a small flat and not much space, but I really said, "Boah, this feels so good for me to do it. It feels really like this is going to help me manifest him, being together with him." And really made space in my bed, and also decluttered everything that I didn't need, or decluttered everything that was keeping me, not taking my joy away from me, or didn't give me anything, so that everything in my flat really had a purpose, and that I receive from it. Because also all the things you have in your flat and everywhere around you, this is something you relate to, and that should give you something. You should receive something from it. And as I really did this, I really felt this, felt this feeling of, I don't need anyone. I already feel like someone is here. I don't feel alone. Also had this feeling of abandonment and fear of abandonment to heal through a lot. And it really helped me. And so this is a really, really, really nice thing. I will enjoy going deeper in how I can live as if it is already what I desire to manifest, and how this would look like. And just maybe dedicating 5 minutes a day, meditating on this feeling of, I have it already, seeing myself in this reality and then creating it and manifesting it. Found this very helpful.
Yeah, that reminds me of an IRL from Jeff and Shaleia. I remember Jeff sharing, they were doing grocery shopping, and Jeff was having kind of like an upset with a few of the things that they were buying. And I remember, like, after they moved through it, of course, they were kind of like sitting in the car, and he was sharing like the process of it. And he was like, this is not me kind of like having a temper tantrum about this. It's me kind of like, it's my process of manifesting, like positioning myself into that place that I already know it's mine, but I still have to work through to get there. And I love it because they share this also in a TIFA's class, if not in many of them, in one way or another. It's like
Twin Flame Ascension School class.
Yeah, it's not that like you are waiting for the universe or God or to give you what you want. The universe already has it. They are waiting on you to be ready to receive it. And I feel like that's a very interesting change, like mindset too, like kind of like that abundance mindset that Adam and Brian were also referring to. So yeah, it's kind of like just a shift in consciousness. And kind of like to round it up on my side, at least, these 3 departments that they were sharing at the beginning of the sermon, I find it very interesting because maybe we can kind of like interpret it as the process of moving through like fear-based thought into love-based thought. And like of course God consciousness is the love consciousness, and the subconscious department, this one that kind of like runs automatically, doesn't quite trust that anything can change and blah blah blah, can be like maybe thought as the fear thought, or like the fear-based thought. And this third one, kind of like the bridge from which we can go from A to B constantly. And like it was also shared, like I think it was in the first LPC, like life purpose class, is moving from one vortex to another, explanation that Chef and Shaleia were also giving. So yeah, so I carry the buckets from A to B.
Like a move.
Like
moving.
Like a movie.
Like moving into the department of love. Or how?
Yeah, but that's how you create, like, yeah,
mention
exactly. But that's how you actually end up creating the reality you desire. It's like just finding those places that are saying something that is not true or real, and just kind of like change the narrative. And poof, voila. As within, so without. I feel kind of complete on my side. I was like, you're welcome to pitch in.
Carmen?
Yeah, I feel also very good. Do we have any comments?
I watched, we have no comments.
Okay.
We have a comment from Grenville. He says, hello, Tim. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, then I say thank you for watching the After Church Tea Time. Thank you for participating, Carmen and Deborah. Yeah, it was really a juicy topic and very helpful to just stay focused, having faith on your journey, if it's your twin flame journey, your life purpose journey, or just you on your life journey, improving your life, improving your relationship with God. Have faith, believe in your desires. And like Adam said, there are these examples where homeless people became millionaires. How did they do that? They had faith, they believed
in the vision they had, yes.
Exactly.
And they just followed through.
Yeah. So to say, we see us in the next After Church Tea Time.